and bites him.
It's over. It's over.
What happened? Tyson showing desperation and fighting Holyfield 2 times. Look out now.
The name Destroyer once sent shockwaves through the entire boxing world. But that same man who terrified opponents ended up broke, locked behind bars, and forgotten by the very crowd that once screamed his name. That man is Mike Tyson. Fast forward to 2024. When most believed Tyson was nothing but a faded shadow in history, he stunned everyone by stepping back into the ring against Jake Paul. That stare across the canvas wasn't just two fighters eyeing each other, it was a reminder. This isn't just a boxer. This is a living legend with a history that mixes pure glory with stains too dark to ever fully wash away. Tyson had it all: untouchable power, unimaginable wealth, and a reputation that crowned him as the definition of strength. Yet in a storm of scandals, reckless choices, and financial ruin, it all collapsed. The man once worshipped as a warrior of the ring became an easy target for laughter, criticism, and betrayal. People abandoned him, the same people who once cashed in on his success. His life became the perfect example of how fame can crown you one day and curse you the next. So what dragged Tyson into the abyss? Was it bad decisions, dangerous friends, or maybe Tyson himself? The same fists that built his empire also tearing it apart? The bigger question, does this story end in total destruction? Or is there a shocking final act where Tyson rises again?
I don't know, man. Yeah, Lennox Lewis, I'm coming for you.
Mike, is it frustrating to train like you did and then have this in 7 or 8 seconds?
For this fight, I only trained probably 2 weeks or 3 weeks for this fight. I had to bury my best friend, and I dedicated this fight. I wasn't going to fight. I dedicated this fight to him. I was going to rip his heart out. I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Lennox is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody as ruthless. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Simpson. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat his children. Praise be to Allah.
Are you saying now, Mike, that Mike?
In a way nobody could have predicted. That's what we're digging into. We'll walk through every chapter of his journey, from lightning-fast knockouts to devastating collapses, from headlines filled with triumph to scandals that nearly destroyed his soul. And by the end, you'll see a truth that will blow your mind. The man once branded a beast could actually transform into one of the most respected and even beloved figures alive. But to truly understand the weight of Tyson's name, we've got to rewind to where it all began. Picture Brooklyn's rough streets, crime everywhere, kids lost in the chaos, and in the middle of it, a young Tyson, already slipping into the hands of gangs and violence. His future seemed locked, prison or an early grave. Then fate stepped in. Cus D'Amato saw something in this wild kid no one else did. He didn't just train him, he crowned him with a new destiny. Cus taught Tyson to sharpen his rage into a weapon, to channel his pain into pure destruction in the ring. 1986, the year the boxing world shook to its core. At only 20 years old, Mike Tyson flattened Trevor Berbick and became the youngest heavyweight champion in history. This wasn't just a victory, it was a violent announcement. The throne was his, and anyone daring to step forward was walking into war. Overnight, the press crowned him the baddest man on the planet. And the scary part, he lived up to it. Tyson stopped being just a man. He became the very definition of fear itself. Back then, the heavyweight division was stacked with giants. But Tyson didn't just beat them. He tore through them like paper. His mix of insane speed, crushing power, and predator-like instincts left opponents hopeless before the bell even rang. Many collapsed without landing a single punch. Crowds didn't show up for boxing matches anymore. They came to witness executions. That's how terrifying Iron Mike had become. From a kid roaming Brooklyn streets to a global icon, he sat proudly on the throne of terror, glowing so bright that people thought nothing could ever bring him down. But that light, it hid cracks waiting to split wide open. And then came Tokyo, 1990, the night when history itself flipped upside down. Tyson marched into the ring with 37 straight wins, his aura untouchable, his reputation godlike. Fans thought his opponent James Buster Douglas was a joke, a washed-up fighter with no chance of surviving more than a few rounds. But underestimating a man with nothing to lose, that's deadly. Tyson came in unprepared, drowning in his own arrogance, distracted by wild parties and reckless nights. He wasn't entering the ring as a warrior anymore. He walked in as a king, drunk on his own power. Meanwhile, Buster Douglas was fighting with the weight of heartbreak. His mother had just passed, and he turned all that pain into fire. That night in Tokyo, he wasn't just another challenger. He was a man swinging for his life. As the fight dragged on, the crowd started realizing something terrifying. This wasn't the Mike Tyson they knew. Gone was the ruthless predator who used to end nights in seconds. Instead, Buster Douglas, with his sharp reach and smart game plan, forced Tyson into a corner, hammering him with shot after shot. By the 10th round, the impossible was about to happen.
During our conversation, Tyson told me from what he sees, drugs, alcohol, and sex are a part of prison life. He says he minds his own business and reads a lot. Though he's trying to use his time constructively, he's still angry he's in jail because, as Harold Dow tells us, Tyson doesn't believe he belongs there.
Douglas unleashed a vicious uppercut, followed by a merciless storm of punches. Tyson's body folded, his mouthpiece rolling across the canvas as he desperately fumbled to shove it back in. He tried to rise, but his legs refused to obey. The referee counted 7, 8, 9, 10. It was over. Just like that, an entire era crumbled in front of millions. The baddest man on the planet was sprawled out, beaten by a man no one believed in. The Tokyo Dome went silent, and the world asked the question no one thought possible. Was Tyson really unstoppable, or had the myth just shattered?
That's the jab Mike didn't have in the first fight.
The shock rippled across the globe. It wasn't only Mike Tyson lying on that mat. It was the illusion of invincibility itself. Overnight, the media branded it the greatest sports upset of the 20th century. From New York to London, Tokyo to Las Vegas, TVs replayed the slow-motion collapse again and again. Iron Mike, motionless on the canvas, was an image so surreal it felt like fiction. That one defeat didn't just strip Tyson of a belt, it tore away the mask of immortality. Fighters who once froze at his glare suddenly realized the truth. Tyson was human, and humans can fall. The press, once his biggest cheerleaders, now turned into his biggest critics. Fans abandoned him, tabloids mocked him, and worst of all, Tyson himself began losing his identity. That night became a brutal lesson. Mistakes don't destroy you instantly, but arrogance and complacency will. The Tokyo collapse didn't just stay in the ring, it bled into Tyson's personal world, poisoning relationships once thought untouchable. Even Donald Trump, who back then played both businessman and advisor, suddenly turned ice cold. When asked to visit Tyson's dressing room, he flat out refused, saying, "I'm not going into Tyson's dressing room. I can't be near him. It might rub off on me." That brutal dismissal hit like another knockout. The same man who once basked in Tyson's glow now acted like his downfall was contagious. Fans couldn't believe the betrayal.
Tyson!
I can't believe what I'm seeing.
Well, first he had a parachute drop on him, now he had a heavyweight bind him.
Fight,
When did we get that on tape?
fighting Holyfield in the right ear. What a reaction.
Meanwhile, across the Atlantic, a new generation smelled opportunity. Young Lennox Lewis, with only 7 pro fights, laughed at the shift in power, joking, "Holyfield just lost $11 million. It sounded playful, but the message was sharp. Tyson's collapse didn't just end a reign, it cracked the door wide open for the hungry lions waiting in the shadows. The aura of invincibility was gone, and rivals were circling like vultures. On one side, abandonment by supposed allies. On the other, rivals licking their lips. The man once untouchable was now exposed, isolated, mocked, and weakened. And that moment marked the start of a new Tyson chapter, not filled with dazzling victories, but a brutal descent into scandals, controversies, and eventually, prison. Many believed Tokyo was the bottom of Tyson's story, but they were wrong. It wasn't the end, it was the prelude. As his reputation cracked in the ring, his private life spiraled into chaos. The real nightmare was about to begin, raising a haunting question. How far can a fallen legend sink?
I don't know, I never look at it that way. I've never been really a money type of guy. I put a great emphasis on it. You know, I never really, I come very, from a broke background. So I never really had great emphasis. I never really learned the art of handling money as a kid. You know, that's an art. That's why only a few people maintain
Then
it.
came 1992, the darkest twist yet. Tyson was convicted in a scandal involving beauty queen Desiree Washington. The shocking verdict sentenced him to 6 years behind bars. of which he served 3. The sports world was rattled to its core. The man once hailed as the baddest on the planet now had his name splashed across headlines not for knockouts, but for a criminal case that cemented his downfall. Fans were shocked, the boxing world stunned. Iron Mike's image was no longer invincible, but clouded with doubt and anger. After 3 years in prison, Tyson stepped back into the ring, desperate to reclaim his crown. The power was still there, but his mind shaken. Each fight felt like a war inside his head, one bad moment away from exploding. That breaking point came in 1997, the Holyfield rematch, hyped as the fight of the decade. Nearly 2 million pay-per-views, over $100 million in revenue, and the pressure at its peak. Add in Holyfield's controversial headbutts, and Tyson snapped. Round 3, the unthinkable happened. Tyson bit Holyfield's ear. In seconds, the ring turned into a nightmare broadcast worldwide. Millions sat frozen, unable to believe what they had just seen. The punishment came fast. Disqualified, banned, fined over $3 million. But the real damage wasn't money, it was his legacy. The baddest man on the planet was now branded a symbol of chaos. If Tokyo shattered his aura of invincibility, the ear bite buried it. From God of the Ring to a cautionary tale, Tyson proved a harsh truth. When rage rules over reason, you don't just lose the fight, you lose yourself.
That's how I live my life. You know, when I was living my life back then, that's just my, wow, that's even hard. When you mention it, wow, that's even hard. I don't even fathom that. I don't even think I'm that kind of guy. I don't even look ever considering having money
After
like
the
that.
Holyfield scandal, people thought Tyson had already hit bottom. But life had an even darker pit waiting. And this time, it wasn't about boxing. It was about everything outside the ring. Once called the money-making machine of boxing, Tyson saw over $400 million flow through his hands, faster than his knockout punches. Yet in less than 20 years, the world was stunned to hear Iron Mike say one word nobody expected: bankrupt. The question shook fans everywhere. How does a man burn through nearly $500 million? The answer? Tyson lived like no rules applied. Gold-plated mansions, million-dollar cars, diamonds stacked on diamonds, and even pet Bengal tigers roaming his backyard. It was a jaw-dropping circus of excess that mirrored a life spiraling out of control. Endless parties, drugs, and fleeting romances drained his fortune quicker than any loss in the ring. By 2003, it all came crashing down. Tyson was officially broke. The media pounced like sharks smelling blood. Headlines mocked him. TV shows ran montages of his luxury toys alongside his empty accounts. And suddenly, Tyson wasn't seen as a legend. He was a punchline. The man once feared worldwide was now ridiculed as a financial disaster. In the end, the harsh truth was clear. The only man who truly knocked out Mike Tyson was Mike Tyson himself. His lack of control became the deadliest punch of his life. By the 2000s, he looked finished, a fallen monument, remembered only through grainy VHS tapes. Then in 2009, Tyson stunned the world again, not with a fight, but with comedy. His cameo in The Hangover turned the once feared monster into a source of laughter. Seeing Tyson poke fun at himself left audiences shocked. Was this really Iron Mike? That small role cracked open a new image. Tyson leaned into it, launching Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson, a podcast where he dropped the tough act and spoke openly about prison, pain, failure, and redemption. Fans saw something unexpected. Tyson could laugh at himself, reflect on his scars, and show vulnerability. Step by step, his story flipped. From screen cameos to podcast studios to new ventures, Tyson reclaimed more than money. He earned back empathy. For longtime fans, it felt like a miracle. Tyson became living proof that even a man who lost it all could still find rebirth. But not everyone was convinced. Critics sneered, saying Tyson wasn't changing. He was just rebranding, flipping scandals into cash, and polishing his image for profit. The media split into two camps. Entertainment outlets crowned him a golden uncle, celebrating a miraculous comeback. Meanwhile, harsh voices warned society was romanticizing a deeply controversial man just because he now made people laugh. The divide only fueled the phenomenon. Tyson's return stopped being just about boxing. It became a cultural drama, a debate on whether charisma and storytelling can outweigh a stained past. And that raises the bigger question. Do we as a society forgive too easily if someone entertains us? Are scandals wiped away once a fallen icon turns into meme material? In Tyson's case, the answer was clear. People couldn't look away. His story felt cinematic, from dizzying heights to brutal collapse and somehow an unlikely return as a lovable figure. Mike Tyson's life stopped being just a sports career. It became a mirror of humanity itself. Glory, shame, destruction, and redemption all wrapped in one. Mistakes dragged him to rock bottom. Scandals shredded his reputation, yet those same cracks opened a new path. The Tyson we see today isn't just a fighter. He's relatable, funny, self-deprecating, and proof that broken pieces can still shine. And that's the final twist. The man once written off as finished turned his story upward again. His journey reminds us, the past isn't the end, just a bend in the road. So what do you think? Has the world truly forgiven Mike Tyson? Or are we just hypnotized by how well he tells his story? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more untold stories like this.